Back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to go over TOPT iShares Top 20 US Stocks ETF. This is a very interesting ETF because it only holds 26 companies within it. And as you can see, the top 10 holdings make up 73% of this. So let's break it down. Let's go through the overview and then we'll go through the rest of these. As you can see here, the expense ratio is 0.2%. And the top 10 holdings are Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Broadcom, Berkshire Hathaway, Amazon, Tesla, Meta, JP Morgan, and Eli Lilly. Composition, you are going to see that this investment seeks to track the S&P 500 Top 20 Select Index. How does it do this? It measures the performance of the 20 largest U.S. companies by float-adjusted market capitalization within the S&P 500. It generally invests 80% of its assets in the underlying components of this index. As you can see, this is a U.S. equity, passively managed, large fund. Now let's break it down so you can see it on a chart. The holdings, top 10, 73%, and we'll go over the other 13 companies within this. As you can see here, Apple makes up 15%, Nvidia makes up 13%, Microsoft 13%, Broadcom 5%, Berkshire Hathaway 4%, and the list goes on. As you can see, it starts to dwindle down below 5%. All of these companies are within North America. The market cap is large cap, 95%. And here is your style map, large growth companies. Now the sector exposure is technology 48%, finance 13%, consumer discretionary 10%. The top 10 that you can see, here are the remaining. So you have Visa around 3%, you have Exxon Mobil around 2%, United Health Group around 2%, MasterCard, Google, which surprisingly low, Google's 2.46%, Costco at 2.3%, Walmart, Home Depot, Netflix, more Google, and then BlackRock. Industry exposure, just so you can see, semiconductors makes up 19%, technologies 15%, software 13%, financial services 10%. Now, just looking at the top here, as you can see, distribution and expenses, you're not really getting much of a dividend here. Its most recent distribution amount is 2 cents, and the expense ratio is 0.2. This is a very new ETF that is out there, so there's not much analysis on it. And when you look at this technical sentiment, it's hard to really trust this because they just created this ETF. So it says weak short term and neutral long term. The performance and risk of a hypothetical growth at $10,000, it's really hard to tell because the company just created this ETF from October of 2024. So this is definitely not much information on this. You just have to look at the companies and see if you actually agree with them. Next, comparisons. There are no similar comparisons, and this is very unique. I've never really seen a fund like this that only has 24 companies or 26 companies within it. In the key statistics here, we know it's an ETF, it's an open-ended investment company. Its sponsor is BlackRock, and when you compare its expense ratio, it is 0.2% compared to the median of 0.39%, so very competitive. But you got to remember, you're only investing in 24 companies. When you think about this fund, TOPT, the iShares Top 20 US Stocks ETF, very interesting, only holds those 26 companies. If you're interested in more ETFs like this, definitely check out this playlist I have on my channel on Trading Simplified. You can see that we have the Mastering Fidelity Index Funds, ETFs, and Investments, and you'll definitely get a lot more videos tailored to that as well.